along the way. We have found today these harsher tones emerging from the Romney and the Gingrich camp as race to the White House rolls forward here. We mentioned earlier how Romney's camp is sending over an anniversary cake to the Gingrich office, marking 15 years since his congressional reprimand. Romney also directly calling out Gingrich over his work with mortgage giants Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac.
Speaker Gingrich worked for Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. By the way, didn't he say he was going to release information about his relationship there? Let's see what report he wrote for Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac.
Well, that was out just a few hours ago. Jonathan Strong reacting now, staff writer for Roll Call. How you doing, Jonathan? And good afternoon to you.
Great. Good afternoon.
What is your sense of Romney's strategy? Is he prepping for the possibility of a second-place finish today and then a stronger tone for Florida in 10 days?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, you can see him out on the campaign trail starting to manage expectations, but this is a really smart move by him to go on offense on the transparency issue. This entire week he's been hurt over his kind of inability to answer this question, why won't you release your tax returns? And so now he's going at Gingrich, his chief rival, and saying, why won't you tell us the details about your relationship with Freddie Mac?
Well, what Gingrich will likely say is that the documents about the reprimand have been public for years. But what Romney's going to demand is the supporting documents that led up to the investigation. What could be in those papers? Or is it just a chance to get back at the issue?
One of the things that the Romney campaign has pointed to is recent remarks by Nancy Pelosi, the minority leader in the House. And she kind of seemed to indicate that there was some material in the documents that she reviewed at the time. She was on the ethics committee that looked at Newt Gingrich's behavior. And she seemed to indicate that there was something in there that might come out that might be a surprise in the case that he were the GOP nominee. And so, you know, the Romney campaign has pointed at this, and we don't know exactly what is at stake here. The Gingrich campaign says that everything that was in the investigation has become public long, long ago.
Well, the outcome of that with Gingrich, a fine of some $300,000 that was paid in the late 1990s. But with the issue of Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, why would you demand the release of any contract that was entered into the work that Gingrich did? What would that hold that could be damaging, if anything?
If you remember, there was this notable moment when Newt Gingrich said that he was paid $1.6 million by Freddie Mac to be a historian that advised them that their business model didn't work. That kind of wasn't a very plausible explanation, and he's since hedged on that and you know, kind of gone into a little bit more detail, but he's maintained this clear line that he never lobbied for them, never, you know, argued that they should be subsidized more heavily by the federal government. And if we were to, you know, find that contract and see that had details that he was supposed to lobby for them, that would be a huge blow to his credibility on this issue.
And what he has said is that he advised them on different accounts and they took none of his advice. The other thing that Romney indicated today, he's going to give a major speech on the economy that would not rebut but prebut the President's State of the Union address. One would think that would be a smart move, putting the focus back on the President and the current administration. What would Romney say in that would be effective, do you believe?
Well, you know, politically speaking, what's happening here, and this has been the whole campaign, the story of the whole campaign is Romney has tried to set himself up as having a battle with President Obama, not with the other nominees. That puts him above the fray, and as the front runner, he's been able to do that. And so he's trying to seize on the State of the Union to get back some of the momentum that he had coming out of New Hampshire.
And part of that speech may contain, according to Carl's reporting a bit earlier today, defending free enterprise and perhaps a hit not just on the President but also on Newt Gingrich. So we'll await that speech when it comes up in a few days. Thank you so much. It's good to have you on today, okay? Jonathan Strong with us out of Washington.